in place of resignation and turn our anguish and desperation into elation and assurance. God has spoken the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Imam Safraz Bacchus. And you know what's also special? Imam Safraz Bacchus registered to vote yesterday, and he is going to be voting for the first time. And I hope that all of you go out and vote on June 22nd, because you know what I said earlier? Guyanese people make up New York City, and what we say and what we think matters, and it only matters when we go out and vote, starting with Imam Safraz Bacchus. Next up, we have Pandit Ganesh Maharaj. Pandit Ganesh Maharaj is from the historic Sri Lakshmi Narayan Mandir. Sri Lakshmi Narayan Mandir has been in our neighborhood for decades and decades and decades. And this is such a fitting honor. And I welcome Pandit Ganesh Maharaj up to the stage, knowing full well there are many of us in the audience here today who are yearning for the day where Diwali will be a public school holiday. And Sri Lakshmi Narayan Mandir has been a long-time advocate in that effort.
Thank you very much. I said, for this scripture will be the prayer. Asatoma Satagamaya Tamasoma Jodigamaya So Lord, lead us from untruth to truth. Lead us from darkness to light, O Lord. Lead us from death to immortality. In this prayer, the Hindu always believe in Bhagwan Ganesh. As we are about to be crowned today for the greatness that we have done, we call upon that Lord to bless this moment and to bless each and every one of you present here. Om Tum Kashe Kadan Keshe Kapilo Kajer Karinaka Lambo Narakta Vigno Vishna Asho Vishunayaka Dum Ketul Gana Gaksho Balachandra Gajanana Dware Shekarina Mani Tishambe Patahena Vidyanambe Vivaheshe Praveshe Nirgame Tatha Chandrame Sangatak Seva Vigrata Supana Jayate Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah Gaudi Matai Namo Namah. Devotees, once again, we didn't get here just like that. I know Liberty back in the days, 129th Street especially, there was an empty lot here. There was nothing there. And all the building was not so beautiful as you see now. If you ride around Richmond Hill, you'll see all the beautiful houses. They all look so nice. And when I look at my Hindu brothers and my Muslim brothers, I say, wow, this is prosperity. This is called hard work. This is dedication. And I admire it. But anyway, we didn't get to this point just like that. I know my Guruji, Adrian Adams came, and I think it was 1984, he saw that this land, and he liked it. And there was a beautiful person who would offer or to give that land to him. He built a temple. And as he built a temple and started to grow, then we started seeing more and more Guyanese are coming into this neighborhood. And that is what makes it so beautiful today. I thank you very much. Now this day can be remembered. And every time someone passes Liberty Avenue or Lefferts Boulevard, they're going to remember that little Guyana that we came from. That little Guyana is not so little today. It's grown to a huge size. And I want to thank all of you for coming out today. And please support my brother and my sister and all the other ones who contribute. Pandits contribute in making this little Guyana so big Guyana today. But all the leaders, all the spiritual leaders, politicians, and many other people, each and every one of you. And I say, God bless each and every one. Thank you very much and enjoy the beautiful day. They say rain is bad, but rain is not bad, my friend. Rain is the one that waters all the plants, and we are the plants today. bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Panditji, for those beautiful words. And rain is indeed a blessing, so hang with us. Okay, so next we'd like to invite Pastor Ijaz Nabi of Faith Assembly. Faith Assembly founded in 1984. They have been an important institution in our community for decades and have been a center for COVID vaccination. So thank you for that very important work. Thank you.
Good morning. Greetings to all our elected officials, organizers of this event. Greetings. Today we celebrate the contribution of Guyanese to the American society. Our renaming is made for our name and Richmond, Guyana. But we want to remember also that this community was very hard hit by COVID-19. We at one time shared the highest positivity rate. They say that 1 out of 8 persons in our community was infected with COVID. And let us remember all those who are not with us today and who were a part of life. Faith Assembly has been a part of the forefront in this fight with education and vaccines. Our church is a vaccine center, and if there is anyone here today who needs a vaccine, you can just walk into our church today and tomorrow at 120 101 Avenue, and you can get a Moderna vaccine. Let us pray. Almighty God, it is with grateful hearts we gather here today as a community. We thank you for how you taught us the story of the Good Samaritan, to show us that we are all brothers. We thank you for teaching us to love others regardless of racial differences, economic differences, developmental differences, or any other differences. May our community and city be known for love and fairness and not discrimination. Eradicate prejudice from our hearts, our words, and our actions. Help us to love you as you love. Help us to love others as you have taught us to love. We pray today for healing in our city and our community. So many are suffering from word of hurt. We pray for healing and justice for those who have been treated unkindly throughout their lives. We pray healing and prosperity for businesses that are struggling through so many challenges, for the families that own them and for their employees. We pray for healing and wisdom for our leaders as they strive to achieve peace and order. Dear God, may all of us come to experience your love and your peace that you give to us through Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Asnabi, and I'm so glad that that organization continues to operate in a beautiful high-rise that overlooks all of Richmond Hill and Little Guyana. Okay, next we're going to do the national anthem of the United States of America and the Republic of Guyana. And I need you all to give these brave young students a round of applause who is, remember, we prepared without rain, and they're going to do this regardless. These are young kids in our neighborhood, in our mandirs, in our schools, and in our homes. They have dressed beautifully to do the national anthem today. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is being coordinated by a community leader, Dr. Dan Narayan. The students will do a version of the Guyana national anthem as well. Can we get another round of applause for these brave young women who are not just American today, but they are leading the way. And you know what I'm thinking when I hear these young women recite the national anthem? I'm thinking of Kamala Devi Harris in the White House. I'm thinking of a Caribbean Indian woman who is leading our country right now. And these young women are going to be leading the way as well. Now, Annette and I, we've tried to give you a little history of Richmond Hill. But there's only one person that wrote the book on Richmond Hill. And that is Dr. Dan Narayan, who I'm going to invite up to give us a very brief history of Richmond Hill, an abbreviated version. But Dr. Dan Paul is a teacher. He actually helps young people study for the GED in Richmond Hill. He's also a prolific writer and a journalist in our hometown newspaper, the West Indian. Dr. Dan Narayan.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Annette. Well, it's a very long story, but we'll make it very short. Before I do that, I want to invite Berlinda. Where's Berlinda? Berlinda, please come up for a second. Now, Berlinda is she's representing the Amerindian people of Guyana, the native Indians. Beautifully decked out, the Wapishiana people of Guyana. So Berlinda, thank you for being here. All right, so I'm going to skip a lot of stuff that I wrote because of the weather and everything else. But I would like you to give a big round of applause to our Councilwoman Adrian Adams. There she is. Because it was under her watch that we got Punjab Avenue. And I know that the Punjabis have a very long memory in this community. Under her watch, we had Jonathan the Rhine Way. Under her watch, we are having today the big one, Little Guyana Avenue. And under her watch, next month, which is going to be June 27th, we are going to have Pandit Ramlal Way on 133rd Street. What a fantastic job this young lady is doing. Let me hear it for her. Another big round of applause. So we want to welcome all of you. Our congressman is here, Mr. Gregory Meeks. Our borough president is here, Donovan Richards, Jennifer Rajkumar, and so many other officials. Thank you for being here. So here's a quick Guyanese history. We had the Amerindians, and because of bad politics back home, people came here from all over the place. And we're here now, we're in New York, Southeast Queens. We've made Richmond Hill our home. We have more Guyanese here than in Guyana itself, which is an anomaly. But if you look down the road, you're going to see some Uncle Ron sing down there, his son Greg. You're going to see Sibyl's down the street there, my very good friend, Bernard. You're going to see Shanta Flowers, El Cup, Funeral Home, Chevron's Bakery, who's doing some good work here today, and Hansa Engineering, the Cherry Dragon Center. And while we're doing the Cherry Dragon Center, I'd like to sing Lord Vishnu Mahadir, Chuck Bohan, Bill Carpin, Arjun Karshan for their work for democracy in Guyana, Ruben Kushia, Uncle Joe Kanai, Harry Bisun, Mohammed Records, Ramesh Kalicharan, Ray Sundar, Dr. Tora Singh, Dr. Vishnu Bisram, the journalist, Dr. Terence Blackman, my very good friend James Richmond, Roy Singh, Herman Singh, as well as Narobali, Ishri Singh, Haji Zakir, don't forget him, Clifey Maddo from the old days, Richard, Rosanna Beaumont, school principal, Richmond Hill High School, Neil Ganesh, Ravi Dev, Vasant Ramotar, and so many others, and I know I've left some out. So if I've left you out, I will do that in the print media, when I do the stuff there in the print. And you heard from Sri Lakshmi Narayan there, as well as Masjid Al-Abidin, Attorney Kewal Totaram, Balmont Prasad, Dr. George Jagru, who is one of the first doctors, followed by Dr. Philip Baldeo. Now, can anyone say which was the first West Indian store on Liberty Avenue? An extra point out for that. The first West Indian store was J&B. And I want to acknowledge J&B today. Auntie Joyce, Uncle Eddie, and my good friend Michael Jarbandan. He's a young stalwart. Derek and John Bajan opened one of the first Starry stores. Tony Yassin from Spice Waters there. Uncle Basil Prasad sitting right here. Basil Hardware. And as we get closer, we salute Bina from Beaner's Home Care, as well as my good friend Ravo from Kaichur, and Richard and Annette. We have the cane juice man in the corner. He brought all the cane juice from 120th Street, so you're going to get free cane juice before you leave, Mr. Samir. The air train has done tremendous work taking us back and forth to Manhattan. Thank you, Dr. Devika Prasad, Dr. Kamini Dubey, Suresh Subrim, and so many others. And Richard, if I start to go into food, I know you love food. If I start going to food, it's going to be too many food places to mention, and I'm going to leave some out. So I want to thank all of you for being here. Thanks to the NYPD for being here. Let's hear it for them. Yeah. NYPD, the Daisy Group, Galia, Chief McPherson, Captain Ralph Clement, Inspector Urprasad, Kayum Khan, so many members, and the Rotary Club. And before I end, I want to send our greetings to Detective Randolph Holder's family, because this young man paid the ultimate price for our safety in this city, and I know his dad is somewhere around. And now, Richard, I'm going to sing. People ask me, Dan, why don't you sing? So I'm going to sing, and everybody knows the song. So let's go. 3 lines. Born in the land of the mighty Roraima, land of the great rivers, far stretching sea. I know I'm going to skip some. Onward, upward, may we ever grow. Day by day, in strength and beauty grow. Till at length, we each of us will show what Guyana's sons and daughters can be. And you know what Guyana's sons and daughters have done? They have renamed an avenue in New York. Little Guyana Avenue. Thank you. Hip hip! I'm deaf in the left ear. Hip hip! Let me get all them flags flying, all them signs going. Hip hip! Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Narayan. And the list goes on. There's so many, many, many more across this city who have played such an important part of our history. Amongst us today is an important constituency that plays such a vital role in keeping our community together, in advocating for our community, in drawing attention to some of those issues that are so inconvenient but are important. We have folks who are working on equal rights, gender justice, who are ensuring that our communities get vaccinated, that their housing needs are met, and so on and so more. I am personally so incredibly proud of this group of leaders who are coming up. It truly gives me hope for the future of our community. We're going to call them up. They're going to just say a quick hello. We really want you to know who they are.
Okay, we're going to start with BOF Kids. Please make your way up to the stage. We have the Caribbean Equality Project. We have the Richmond Hill South Ozone Park Lions Club. Please come up on stage. Trinidad and Tobago Indian Association of USA. Jeannie Persad, and I don't see you behind me, it means we're going to be skipping you. South Queens Women's March, New York Corrections Department, Dacey Society, the Indian Diaspora Council, Guyana Tri-State Alliance, and United Madrasi Association. Now, please line up behind me, we're going to go one at a time, 1 minute each. I recognize that we have a community of leaders, and I recognize that a lot of the people who are pulled up here today only represent a sample of this great variety. I hope that you joining us today shows support for a diversity of community leaders. Okay, Patrick is going to go first, and then we're going to go for 1 minute after that, each person.
Well, I want to welcome everyone for coming out. I'm just blown away by we have such a great turnout, even given the rain. Thank all of our dignitaries that are here. I'm just amazed that we're only naming this little guy today. I would have thought this happened 10 or 20 years ago. As my family has been in this neighborhood for since the 1930s, and watched this community grow and change, and the vibrant community that exists here today is because of the Guyanese community. Come, invest in the community, develop businesses in this community. The vibrancy is just amazing. To walk on the avenue on a busy day and just see all the people shopping. It's really just a beautiful community, and just so privileged to be here to serve this community. So thank you.
How old is Leo F. Kieran's?
Leo, we about 1900 is when we started.
It's a melting pot, Richmond Hill.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aminta Kilawanyarai. I am founder of South Queens Women's March, co-founder of Sadhana, board member of Chaya CDC, and a resident of this neighborhood for about 30 years. I stand on the shoulders of my ancestors and my parents who came to America with a few dollars in their pockets and big dreams in their hearts. To the countless leaders, many who are here today, who paved the way for folks like me to find my humble calling in community service. To the small businesses who took calculated risks to open up many shops on this stretch of Lenape and Canarsie land, and so many more. Little Guyana is a feast for the senses to see vibrant colors, intersections of faith and culture, people who still proudly practice their traditions in spite of all of the colonial pressures to erase them, to smell the fresh flat bread being baked and the aroma of spices coming together in the air to make a curry paste, to hear the chutney blasting out of an uncle's boombox that he has strapped to the back of his bicycle, to taste the flaky roti that we purchased to accompany the meals our mothers have made because they're juggling jobs on top of childcare with little time to rest, let alone to Bailey, to touch the petals on those flowers we've planted in our gardens, evoking the soils that our ancestors toiled, and those faux petals as well adorning the puja storefronts. This is us. We have collectively made an indelible impact on this city. Anywhere you turn, you will find a hard-working Guyanese, someone who makes this neighborhood better than it was before. And so thank you to everyone who's made this possible. This has been called Little Guyana for a long time, but because we have allies, sisters in government, like Councilmember Adrian Adams, today it is official!
Om Shakti, every day, 1, 2, 3. Om Shakti! My dear friends, happy
naming of Guyana Avenue. My name is VJ Ramjatan of the United Madrasi Association. My dear friends, we are the ones that clean the streets. We are the ones that turn the roti on the tawa. We are the ones that are cleaning people's houses. And we are the ones also that are making a great city today, my dear friends. This day belongs to each and every one of you. For your hard work, for your dedication, for your commitment to building a stronger, better community. My dear friends, when you buy houses, when you come to the corner here and you buy roti, everything is going towards building this amazing avenue. And now when people see Guyanese people, they see hard work, they see sacrifice. And now, my dear friends, when they see the Guyana Avenue, they know they are coming home. Happy Guyana Day, my dear friends. Let's give Councilman Adrian Adams a round of applause, my dear friends, for our great work. Thank you so much.
Richmond Hill! No, wait a minute. Richmond Hill! My name is Mohammed Kiwamin, and I'm the founder and executive director of the Caribbean Equality Project, a community-based organization that empowers, advocates for, and represents Black and brown, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, gender non-conforming, and queer Caribbean immigrants in New York City. Today, I am privileged and honored to be in this space with all of you all. As a proud, queer, Indo-Caribbean, Muslim immigrant, a native of Guyana, a survivor of indentured ancestry, and a reflection of the diverse composition of the LGBTQ community in New York. 25 years ago, my parents made the same decision thousands of you did. Hoping to give their 4 children a better life, they traveled to America and settled in the concrete jungle. Not having a formal education, like many low-income immigrant families, my parents struggled to navigate New York City. Still, they were determined to keep us safe and ensured we had access to an education as we build a new life in Far Rockaway, Queens. Darren, I see you. I became the first member of my family to graduate college. Today, my siblings are educators and staffers within the New York City Department of Education and at CUNY Law School. In 2005, I moved to Richmond Hill, a community I would visit as a teenager because it reminded me of Guyana. From exploring the restaurants and shopping for gilbaka at the fish markets, to buying pot bread and pint tarts from the cultural grocery stores and the bakeries. I've always known Richmond Hill as Little Guyana. At the age of 22, with the support of my parents, I became a homeowner in this community. Like many of you today, my parents sacrificed so their children could thrive and actualize this notion of living the American dream. Today, as we celebrate this historic moment for all Guyanese, I want to remind you that queer and trans Caribbean immigrants have always been a part of this intersectional embodied struggles of belonging in Little Guyana. The pavements of Liberty Avenue is drenched with my brother's blood after being viciously attacked in 2013. He's standing right over there. Many of you know him as international dancer Zaman. Many of you have hired him to perform at your weddings and your annual cultural festivities, or have seen Sundari, the Indian goddess, dance down Liberty Avenue in the annual Paco Parade. Similarly to all the LGBTQ people who call Richmond Hill home, we have struggled to defend, but we are fearless and we have been advocating for our rights to coexist and thrive among you all. Today, I honor my queer and trans Guyanese family that have braved these streets with their beauty, resilience, and talents. May we never forget the artistic contributions of the late Gora Singh, the writings of the living icon Rajiv Mahabir, the business entrepreneur Victoria Bimala Prasad, and the powerful voice of Pratima Dubey. Today, we have faced colliding pandemics, from racism and colonialism to indentureship and slavery. Collectively, we have survived decades of displacement, class struggles, ancestral trauma, and harm. But we as Guyanese immigrants have used our bodies, our voices, our food, our music, and other interdisciplinary mediums to preserve religious traditions and culture throughout New York City. When I look at this backdrop that you see behind me, I see our diverse contribution to the city's economy, cultural diversity, and growing political power. But since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, our communities have struggled and have lived in fear. Okay, I have one more thing to say. Immigrants have always been essential in New York City. I'm gonna say that again. Immigrants have always been essential in New York City. We must continue to fight, to support, and mobilize healing spaces for our communities to thrive. We must center racial justice, immigrant rights, police reform, and accountability in our organizing as we love and protect our most vulnerable community members. Today, we begin a new chapter in our history as we fight on in solidarity for justice and collective liberation. Thank you, everyone. And go and vote on June 22nd, if you're eligible.
Thank you. Being super conscious of the time, we're going to invite only 2 more organizers to come up. I'm so sorry, the Jahaji sisters, represented by Simone David Jingur and Uncle Ashok Pornsran.
Hello everyone. My name is Simone Davy Jingor and I am one of 2 co-directors of Jahaji Sisters, along with my sister here, Shabana Jorwar. And we are so delighted to be sharing in this historic moment with all of you today. Jahaji Sisters was co-founded in 2007 by several powerful Indo-Caribbean women. Shout out to Preetha Singh, Tej Motilal, Auntie Vijaya Kablal, to just name a few. But we were founded because we wanted to address the root causes of gender-based violence in this community. And we work with survivors to heal, recover, and thrive. And today, we are working really, really hard to shift and transform the culture in this community and to move our people to embrace gender justice. And we are doing this through grassroots organizing, leadership development, the arts, and also through healing. So I want to say, I grew up in Little Guyana in the Bronx. And like so many other Bronxites, as a teen, I found myself coming to Richmond Hill, Little Guyana quite often. I came here for dance rehearsals when the Rajkumari Cultural Center was producing their big events. I came here with my family to shop for groceries whenever we would have pujas. And I came to shop for clothing whenever a family member was having a big wedding and celebration. So this community and this neighborhood just holds a special place in my heart. And I remember as a young person asking my parents, why don't we live in Richmond Hill? But you know what? It was great to grow up in the Bronx and the other Little Guyana. After decades of building a rich, thriving Guyanese neighborhood in Richmond Hill, Queens, one of the main roads in the area will be named Little Guyana Avenue. Let's give it, like, we need to just remember that and hold that in our heart. Like, we have a main avenue that's going to be named Little Guyana. And I know for me and for my little daughter, Kyra, that means so much. I can bring her here and she can see that this is part of her heritage. And as we celebrate this historic moment, we also honor our elders who were the first to settle here in the 80s. They set up mandirs and mosques, roti shops, puja stores, and West Indian grocery stores. They worked incredibly hard to preserve our traditions on this new American soil and marked our existence as Indo-Caribbeans with big events like the Pagwa Parade that has put our community on the map. And they started newspapers to deliver news from back home. As we celebrate this historic moment today, we at Jahaji Sisters thank them for their hard work and their contributions. We thank them for paving the way for us, and we humbly carry the torch forward as custodians of our community and our culture. And we want to also remind you all today that on June 22nd, this is our moment to turn out and vote. So make sure you all turn out and vote, because that is the way that we also show our power as a community. Thank you so much.
I'm Ashok Ramsaran, a proud resident of Queens for over 50 years. Of New York Presbyterian Hospital Community Advisory Council, Queens Civic Congress, and Indian Diaspora Council. We Guyanese have roots in Africa, India, Portugal, China, UK, and the Americas. We pay homage to those who came before us. And recently we have journeyed to America. Little Guyana Avenue is a significant milestone, marking our second journey as Guyanese. We have nurtured strong roots here, established ourselves with remarkable successes. Such is the nature of the Guyanese. Making it better with each journey, seeking opportunities, thriving, excelling in pursuits, peaceful coexistence, and contributing to the better of ourselves, for ourselves and the community. And we take it on pride in this. I'll just cut this short. New York has been good to us and for us. We are only limited by our vision. We are Guyanese diaspora in spirit and in deed. It is truly a remarkable moment of jubilation and pride. Example of our mark, Professor Jonathan Narayan, sadly, on May 5th, Ramesh Nalasuran Way, May 25, 2019, Little Guyana Avenue today, Pandit Ramlal Way on the 27th of June. Our thanks to the Mayor for recognizing this milestone, signing the bill, and attending here today. And Councilmember Adrian Adams, a dear friend, and her staff, who championed Little Guyana and Pandit Ramlal Way. We are grateful. Thanks to District Leader Richard David, who filed the application, and as well as my colleagues, Dan Poran, Minta Kilawan, Dr. Vishnu Vishram, Rohan Narayan, Lakshmi Singh, Vishnu Mahadev, Mohammed Hassan, and so many others. We owe so much to their commitment and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeannie and Ray Prasad.
I'm back home, and I wanted to just come up and say that this is, for 35 years, we're here to feel like we're back home. Thank you very much. I also want to thank Adrian Adams for making this happen, and Richard David to completing the task that so much of our leaders have been trying to do for so long, and Richard David, our district leader, completed it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Ray Prasad. I'm the president of the New York City Correction Department AC Society. I grew up in Richmond Hill. I moved here in 1975. I went to Virgil Iverson Junior High School. I used to go to that library right across the street there. So do whatever I had to do. But I am proud today to be a Guyanese American, and we have Little Guyana. I was part of also Jonathan Narayan's renaming, because he was a correction officer that passed away. And I thank everyone for coming out, and thank everyone for being part of this. And Adrian Adams, thank you very much.
Okay, I'd like to invite Mr. Albert Valdeo, who was the first district leader a Guyanese district leader in this community.
Brothers and sisters, good evening, or good afternoon. It's a pleasure here to stand here today, and I'll give you others who came before us, and others who plowed these fields without any help or support, such as my brother Dr. Philip Baldi and myself, who know about 80% of the people and have served them with distinction in this community. So I want you to know that we should lift each other up. We should continue to fight the common fight. We should continue to make sure that we are recognized. And we have to ensure that the people that came before and made this Little Guyana reality must be given the due recognition. Brothers and sisters, we don't want to be the macarons. We have to ensure that we pay tribute to each other and we make sure we stand together and we grow stronger. Because if you forget the benefits and the struggles and the blood, sweat, and tears of those before you, you will be condemned to repeat the mistakes of the past. That's my first lesson to you. So let us pay tribute to all those who have come here, the unsung heroes of our society, those who have been babysitters in New Jersey and couldn't be here today, those who have driven the buses and cannot be here today, those who cannot afford a suit and a tie to come here today. Let us remember, they are the bastions of industry. They are the basis of this economy. They are the people who made little Guyana. And never forget that. Never let any one of us forget that. Because if we forget that, we will not go forward. So let us now pay tribute to the person who made this happen. And that includes all of you. A very long time ago, Congressman Meeks reached out to me, and we had an office in this avenue at 106th Street. And remember, those from the older school. And Congressman Meeks loved this community so much that he made sure that many of us became citizens, registered to vote, and did vote. So we became a stronger community. And then Adrian Adams came, and with the grace and power that she has, which you must always remember this. Do you know we're on the threshold of history? Do you know we're on the threshold of another great event? And that event is that she's poised to become the first black woman or the first female to be elected as Speaker of the City Council if you vote for her next month. And you must remember that, because so many much we are not informed and we don't have short memories, and like I said, we don't give thanks to those that are due. And I can tell you here, when I went to jail in 2004 years ago, it was because of this community. It was because I ran for office and I didn't want any of us to be elected. We had won a seat in 2006 and they told us we had lost a seat after declaring us a winner. So brothers and sisters, our history is long, and the book that Don Paul has written need a few more chapters. And let's write those chapters together. Let's bring this community up and let me hear it. Let's hear it for the councilwoman, and make sure you vote for it next month so you can have the first speaker. You'll get more So hip hip, hip hip. I can't hear you. Let's hear some life. Hip hip. Thank you.
Thank you for hanging with us. I just want you to just look around. Look how large this crowd has grown. It is remarkable despite the rain. And I see that the rain is breaking a little bit. So now we have been lauding the efforts of the woman who made this happen, Councilmember Adrian Adams. I want to say that first of all, I truly consider Councilmember Adrian Adams a friend and a sister in the movement. I have the honor, the pleasure of working very closely with her. And I will say that her presence in the City Council has made a big difference to our community in ways in which that we may or may not know. My organization, Chaya Community Development Corporation, has been leading the basement legalization campaign for a decade. And most recently, we were looking for a champion to take the helm of this movement. One conversation with Councilmember Adrian Adams, and it was a yes. And today she is a leading voice on basement legalization, and we are hoping to actually have a pilot program right here in this community thanks to our partnership. Councilmember Adrian Adams, I am so proud of you, grateful for you, happy to be in this movement with you, and thank you for everything.
Good morning! Good morning! Joyous morning, because this is Little Guyana Avenue A. I am Councilmember Adrian Adams, and I have the distinct honor of representing you right here in District 28, a place that I call the Great 28, and it's because you've made it great. This is our day. We are here for a historic day of celebration. It's been a long, long wait, but we finally made it here and are so proud to officially acknowledge and honor the achievements and contributions of our Guyanese American community right here in District 28, which will affect the entire city of New York. No, it will affect the whole world, because our representation is worldwide. It is not just for District 28, it is for the world to see and celebrate our culture. I am the proud daughter-in-law of Julian Ignatius Adams from Georgetown, Guyana. So I thank the planning committee that put this amazing program together for our street co-naming ceremony, all of the community organizations, local businesses that make us thrive. I thank our colleagues in government for their presence here today and for being a part of this historic celebration. So, we are the most diverse community on the planet. We will celebrate our diversity on this planet, and we will be joyous and celebration about this district on this great planet. I love my district and Queens as a whole, is that we have neighbors who come from all corners of the world, bringing their languages, their culture, tradition, and customs to their brand new home right here in Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill means so much to me that I made it a priority to make an invisible community visible by naming Punjab Avenue, by naming Gurdwara Avenue, by naming Jonathan Nareen Avenue, and today, Little Guyana Avenue. We have families that thrive here in Richmond Hill, families that are proud, families that are successful, and we will continue to celebrate you and make sure that you are never invisible. As long as I am your council member, you will never be invisible. You have always had a seat at the table, as long as I have been at that table fighting for you. I'm thinking about all the longtime small businesses that have made their home along Liberty Avenue and Lefferts Boulevard and have contributed to the great fabric of this city. I'm talking about the annual celebrations that we look forward to every year, like the Pagwa Parade that our community proudly organizes. I'm also thinking about all of the community groups that serve our residents and small businesses day in and day out to ensure that their needs are met. As difficult as it's been in this worldwide killer pandemic, we still survive, we still thrive, we still make it happen right here in Richmond Hill. So today's street co-naming of Little Guyana Avenue is a real tribute to you. It is a tribute to the community members who have endeavored and made their mark on our community and our great city. Whether it's the incredible volunteerism and service to our community, or breaking barriers in their respective fields and industries, or our Guyanese American community has contributed so much. And this is a token of my appreciation for everything that you have done for this community. So now, brothers and sisters, when we get off of that A train at Liberty and Lefferts, or when we make a trip to one of our beloved small businesses in our corridor, we only need to look up and see the sign, Little Guyana Avenue, and it will be installed as a reminder of the accomplishments and the long legacy of community building that our families have contributed right here. So again, thank you to my colleagues. Thank you to our community organizations. Thank you, Aneta. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Desi Society. Thank you, Muhammad Amin. Thank you, Zaman. Oh gosh, I'm just gonna stop right now. Thank you, Dr. Nareen. All of my great friends and family who are here today. Thank you, Guyanese Girls Rock. Thank you, Claudette. Thank you for all that you do. I cannot wait to unveil the brand new sign that boldly says, Little Guyana Avenue. You say it, Little Guyana Avenue. You say it, Little Guyana Avenue. One more time, Little Guyana. Hey!
Okay, so May is Memorial Day. We want to recognize our veterans and all of the people who have made the most incredible sacrifice for the safety of our country and our well-being here. May is also Indian Arrival Day. That's an incredible, incredible sacrifice in and of itself. And it's also Guyana's 55th Independence Day. We didn't pick May for no reason. We picked it because of the historical significance of this month. And we are honored to be joined by the Foreign Secretary of Guyana, the Honorable Robert Persad. Will you please come up and give us a few remarks, Minister Persad? And I hear this is May, June rain in Guyana, so it's consistent with the weather there.
Thank you very much, Congress. I think we still have Congressman Meeks here. Oh, how are you? Councilwoman, Adrian, community leaders, friends, fellow Guyanese, and also greetings to our brothers and sisters from all the Caribbean communities, as well as persons representing the NYPD and others who want to join us here today in this momentous occasion. I bring you greetings from President Finale and the government of Guyana on this which we consider a very momentous occasion. It's momentous in many regards, and we've heard about the significance of the co-naming of the Little Guyana Avenue, one from the recognition of the work, the contribution of Guyanese who came decades, but also a recognition of the contribution they are continuing to make in different fields and different areas. Also, it is important, and as we heard a few moments ago, that this co-naming comes just 3 days after our 55th independence anniversary. And we view this as a very important recognition of our country and of our people. And many of you would be aware that this co-naming too comes at a time when our country is moving in a very positive and a very significant way in bettering the conditions of all of our people. And this type of recognition here symbolizes and reflects what is taking place in our country, where we are moving, where we are advancing in many regards. And I want the people here, community leaders and all, to be proud of this co-naming and to live up to what people expect of Guyana, and to make Guyana and make Guyanese proud, and to make your community, as it were, a better place. I also want to encourage you to, when you pass and you see Little Guyana Avenue, to think about Guyana. Think about what you can do. Think about how you can also participate in what's taking place in our country. And our government, we want to engage our diaspora in a much more significant way. And we see this recognition here as aiding and also as supporting our efforts in not only recognizing, but connecting Guyanese living here with Guyana. So every time you pass and you see that sign, think about Guyana and think of what else you can do for our country. I want to tell you that, you know, there are lots of things taking place in our country. We have a lot of plans to improve the livelihood of our country. But we would not be in a position here today were it not for the significant efforts that you made here in taking our country out of a very difficult period after we had the elections. And Guyanese here were very much in the forefront of advocating and ensuring that we had democracy that was maintained. And Congressman Meeks was one of the champions of that. And I want you to give him a loud round of applause for the role he and his colleagues played in ensuring that democracy was preserved, as well as the role that you played in ensuring that democracy was preserved. Because without democracy, we would not be talking about the future, about the plans we have, about the transformation taking place, and the new economy that we're seeking to build, and also at the same time trying to bring our people together. So brothers and sisters, I'm happy to join you here in this very momentous occasion. Again, we want to urge that you think more about Guyana as you pass and you see this little Guyana Avenue sign, but also to wave and to keep the golden arrowhead very much high and to be proud of your heritage, but also be proud that today that the people, the decision makers are recognizing you and are recognizing our community. Thank you very much. And again, I wish to thank our councilwoman for the role she played in ensuring Little Guyana Avenue was named. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prasad. Thank you for that. Now I'd like to invite my colleagues to join me on stage, the Honorable Congressman Gregory Meeks, the Honorable Borough President Donovan Richards, the Honorable Assembly Member Jennifer Rajkumar, the Honorable Assembly Member Khalil Anderson, the Honorable Senator Brian Benjamin. I will also invite our commissioner, our SBS commissioner, Janelle Doris, to join us as well. And before my colleagues bring us a few words, I would definitely like to acknowledge the presence of someone who was instrumental in making sure that Punjab Avenue happened, because he brought the community to me, and that is Mr. Harpreet Singh Tour. Thank you, Harpreet. I saw you somewhere out there.
No, that's her.
I just wanted to acknowledge you and say hi.
Thank you. I know you're telling me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our Congressman, the Honorable Gregory Meeks.
Let's thank our councilwoman, the reason why we're all here today. And let me just tell a little quick story. She talked about she is the daughter-in-law of one. Well, I am the son-in-law of Simeon Singh from Jonestown. And just by chance, her husband and my wife grew up together. So it just shows the significance of the communities coming together. And I really wanted to be here to say thank you to her and all of my colleagues in government, and how proud I am of them and all of the work they do, but especially to say thank you to each and every one of you. Because by you being here in Richmond Hill, in New York, in the United States of America, what you have done and what your presence means, that the United States of America is a better place because of you. It's a better place because of your tradition. It's a better place because of your history. It's a better place because of your culture. It's a better place because of your contributions to our society. America would not be America today without you and the contributions that you made. Queens would not be Queens. And we brag about Queens and its diversity. We brag about how we come from all over the world. Well, your presence here in Richmond Hill has made Queens a better place, and it's someplace now when people get off that train stop on Liberty and Lefferts, they will know where they are. They're in Little Guyana. And we can't stop until every fabric of our society here in Queens and others is represented in a proper way. And that's why I'm so glad of our district leader, Richard Davis, and all that he's done. And there is one place that we've got to make sure that we further have representation. And that's in our courts. That's in our courts. We've got to make sure that we have judges that look like the people in this community. And so therefore, when I see Andrea Ogle, we've got to make sure that she's elected along with Cassandra Johnson. We got to make sure that that happens on June 22nd. And I leave this by saying, you got to make sure that our councilwoman send a message, folks, that she belongs to all of us. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making America a greater place. Let me bring up. I don't want him to go, so he's walking up. I don't want him to walk up by himself because he's my little brother, and he's dynamite, and he's been doing it, and he is this councilwoman's partner, was for a long time. Proud of him, our borough president, Donovan Richmond.
Thank you. It's little Guyana in the house. It's Guyana in the house. I know y'all are tired of all the speeches, so I'm not going to read my notes. But let me start by thanking our councilwoman and leader, fierce leader in the city council. Give it up for Adrian Adams. I want you to recognize that this is not a little thing, that this goes through a legal law process, that she passed legislation to ensure that this can happen. So do not take this for granted. Thank you, Adrian, for your leadership. I also want to acknowledge quickly, and when I came into office, I talked about and ran on the premise that we would make sure that we were not just diverse in name, but that as we appointed and ensured leadership was being put in place, that the Guyanese community would have leadership at Queensborough Hall. And I'm happy to have appointed the first Guyanese, first South Asian Deputy Borough President, Rhonda Benda, who is to my left. So I am not here simply to say that, well, I love you, which I do, but it's very important that in everything we do, that policy, the budget is reflective of the Guyanese community. Let me thank this community for your contributions on behalf of all 2.4 million residents of Queens. Let me thank you for your contributions to the economy, to our culture, to our communities. You are such a vibrant part of why Queens is what it is. Where in the world could you get another Sybil's and get some great roti? Right? Roti. Did I mess that up? I'm sorry. That's my Jamaican side. But let me say this. We have so much great representation across the board from this community. We have a long way to go though. And we need to make sure, and this is why Congressman Meeks and many spoke about ensuring that it's just not about taxation but representation. But we have to get out there and vote. We have to continue to galvanize. We have to continue to be part of our civic and nonprofit infrastructure to build this community. Because when you do that, this is how you get Little Guyana Avenue. So I want to thank you once again, Adrian. I want to say that here in Queens County, we break down walls. We truly believe in our diversity, that there may be those who want to build walls, but we build bridges. We knock them down because we believe that Queens is a special place. So thank you all for being here. I look forward to seeing that sign as I get off the A train and I go and get some roti. So God bless you all. Congratulations, Little Guyana Avenue. Thank you. But now, I guess we all are MCing. All right, so we got the congressman. Okay, so now it gives me great honor to bring up our first woman elected to the State Assembly, who is first South Asian. I'm messing up today. It's the ring. And the first Hindu elected to the New York State Assembly, Jennifer Rajkumar.
Namaste. Hey, Tito Ram. Good morning, everyone. It is an incredible day. It couldn't be a more beautiful day. And I am so proud to be here on Little Guyana Avenue. And I want to say, our councilwoman, Adrian Adams, made Little Punjab happen. Punjab Avenue. Then came Gurdwara Avenue. And now we have Little Guyana Avenue. So I might be the first South Asian woman in the assembly, but she is the first South Asian councilwoman that we've ever had. So thank you so much to her. So my parents came here like a lot of our families, with just a few dollars and a suitcase, settling in Queens, where they made their dreams happen through blood, sweat, and tears. Blood, sweat, and tears. And as the first South Asian woman elected in the State Assembly, I stand here on the shoulders of giants. And you're all here today. I am your product. And you elevated me. And you made this happen. So this is just the start. We have always known that this was Little Guyana. But now it's official. Now we are recognized. Does it feel good to be recognized? Yeah. And we're just starting. Who here wants Diwali to be a school holiday? The time has come. We all know the time is here. I've introduced legislation in the State Assembly to make that happen, and we have the support of everyone on this stage. So the sky is the limit. I could not be more proud of our community. And when I look at all of the children here today, I see all of the future leaders that we're bringing up. And when I look at everyone here today, I think of all the giants on whose shoulders I stand. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So God bless Little Guyana. God bless Richmond Hill. God bless the United States of America. Thank you. And now, it is my great pleasure to introduce someone that I love working with every day.